Welcome. You're here because you want to find out what your homework is, or you want to at least see it being projected for you once again. Your personal budget project is the subject of this assignment. There's actually two parts. The first part is to complete this agreement, and then the second part is to complete the personal budget overview. Let's look at the agreement. The agreement's simple. It says that your project is due by April 30th, that you have to turn it in by April 30th and not after, that I won't accept any late work. I'm trying to incentivize you turning it in on time by giving you an additional percentage towards the project if you turn it in early. So if you note that if you turn it in by April 23rd, you can earn an extra 5% on the project. Again, this is up to a maximum of 100, right? So you'll complete that form by putting in your proper class period, your name, your student number, your birth date, your initials, and clicking submit. You'll simply be getting a grade for having completed the form. The next thing you'll need to do is the personal budget overview. And this is where I'm going to be asking you to simply make just some guesses, right? Before you're going to be able to type into this, because you'll note that, oh, I can type, I guess because it's mine. But you won't be able to type into it. In order for you to be able to type into it, you're going to need to make a copy of this document. And then you'll be allowed to edit it. The idea here is that I want you to make some projections. Like, what do you think it's going to cost? Or in this case, what do you think your income's going to be like? So thinking about your chosen career, if I'm going to be a firefighter, I think firefighters make $3,000 a month, right? Just want you to come up with a guess. I then want you to come up with a guess for these other areas, like home expenses. How much do you think where you want to live that your mortgage would be, or I should say really in most cases your rent, right? I would encourage you to get renter's insurance. It's not required, but it's something that I would recommend. I should say it's not required in real life, but for the project, I want you to make a guess as to what you think that's going to cost, right, on a monthly basis. Remember that all of these expenses are projected out over the course of a 1-month period, right? So if you have expenses that are for 6 months or for a year, if you know how much those things are likely to be over the course of a year, you obviously want to divide by 12 if you think it's for a year, or 6 for a half a year. Remember that you do need to get a car or to have some transportation, unless, of course, you're going to be using public transportation. If you live in a city that having a car is just not even financially feasible, like New York City, then you're likely to spend more money on train fare and taxis and so on. The next section is for health care, right? I want you to make a guess as to how much health insurance costs. And then how much doctor visits are, and we recognize you probably aren't going to be going every month to visit the doctor unless you aren't in the best of health, and in that case maybe you'll have more expenses on that side. If your health is good, then you likely would visit the doctor a lot less frequently. Remember, this is a monthly budget, so any expenses, if we figure it's going to cost us $50 for the year, then we'd have to divide that up by 12 in order to be able to put a sum in for our guess for health. For charity and gifts, right? Are you going to give any gifts to anybody? I imagine you'll probably want to, put some money in that column for those Christmas gifts that you're going to buy for people, and birthday gifts and holiday gifts in general. Subscriptions, are you going to subscribe to any magazines? Daily living, this one is always interesting. How much do you think you're going to spend on a monthly basis on groceries? Personal supplies, like personal hygiene type stuff. Are you going to spend any money dining or eating out? Entertainment, you note that this one's blank. That's not very realistic to not spend any money at all in a month on entertainment. So put your money where you'd like to allocate it. You'll be required to put 10% of your income towards savings. So for this person, that's $3,000. If they have a $3,000 income, 10% of their income would be something like $300, and so we'll have to pair out or parse out where we're going to put that $300 within this category. Next set is obligations. Do you have any student loans? And if you think you'll have student loans, how much do you think that it's going to cost you? Again, this is all without looking it up. I don't want you to look it up. That's the project. This is just the preliminary stuff. And then simply you'll need to print it out, right? And you'll be turning in a copy. Remember, you have your name at the top.